The pandemic has put classical guitar world and performances to a real test this year. Let's see how two different countries, Italy and Sweden, approach the topic of COVID performance and quality control. Michele Libraro from Motola Guitar Festival and Klaus Pontvik from Uppsala Guitar Festival share their experiences with organizing a festival mid-pandemic.
The COVID-19 pandemic cancelled my programming in attendance of the festival in March 2020. Everything was ready from January for July, but I had to cancel everything and reorganize a new festival for September 2020 online. Apart from the artist project, it was necessary to understand and imagine the possible problems for an online edition, the reliability of the internet, how to have an audience on the net, creating and interesting and non-trivial topics. The first concern was to find fantastic IT technicians who made the live broadcast and transmitted masterclass and lectures without problems. The other concern was about creating and captivating graphic project to be noticed on the net, supported by a daily schedule of activity day by day on social networks. All because in May 2020, when I did the new programming, there was a little chance of doing something live. Then, honestly, I was too morally discouraged to risk doing anything live. At least with the online mode, there was the certainty of doing the festival. Simple. I asked the graphic design to make a beautiful festival frame for all the videos. All 20 videos are personalized with our logo and EuroStrings 1 in a coordinated way: concert, masterclasses, competition and lecture. This will be forever, because even now and in 10 years the video will be online, available to everyone. The guest professional guitarist and the EuroString artists immediately understood what I wanted: short but very interesting concerts and masterclasses. On the net everything is fine, but very short. Several sponsors have cancelled their contribution given the economic crisis for companies and institutions. The artists were good at reducing their fees given the difficult time for everyone. Yes, everything has grown a lot. Views of the video, likes to posts, guests of live shows, followers. It was a real success. Of course, you have to be always online to have a large following growing, activity by activity, editions after editions. Yes, I've been thinking about it since I finished the festival. This virtual aspect must also be cultivated together with the live one, because it opens up our programming to the world and then the will be remain online forever. This is a very beautiful and compelling aspect. I recommend to my partner friends and EuroStrings a good team of IT technicians, a team for social media and web, and a super internet fiber, because you don't mess with the internet. See you, and thanks for your attentions. Ciao!
Welcome to this EuroStrings Conference 2020. I am Klaus Pontvik, Executive Director of Uppsala International Guitar Festival. And this year is an online version that we have decided to make, as many others. I had hope to have you all here in Uppsala this year. It was, we were really looking forward for that, but it's as it is. So before I get into the topic, that is organizational perspectives on COVID and the Uppsala experience, I want to introduce the city of Uppsala and the festival a little bit, a little background. The festival takes place in a university city that is Uppsala, an international city that has a long and rich history of culture and knowledge and innovation. Regarding the festival, started at 2003 in a little place called Eco Café. This was a cultural place. And during the first years we had more emphasis on the acoustic guitar and the classical guitar, but pretty soon we developed the festival to make room to a wider program. In addition to classical guitar, we had given room to rock and pop and jazz and fingerstyle, and also some years later minimalistic art music. And the festival is, of course, not only soloists, but it's a place of bands, and we have orchestras, and we have soloists as well. And during the last part of the festival, the last 10 years maybe, we have also got several premieres, new music written for the festival, and from quite a lot of well-established composers like Leo Brouwer or Michael Nyman, the minimalistic composer Terry Riley, Sergio Assad this year. So there has been a lot of really nice collaborations, as well as artists coming to the festival during the years. We had the honor to host both John Williams and Paco de Lucia, Pat Metheny, Anushka Shankar, Pepe Romero, Steve Vai, Shamando Costa, Tommy Emmanuel, the Assad brothers, Juan Falú, for instance, from Argentina. So we we try to have this wide range of musical tastes. Now we are going to continue introducing the issue of the day, and this is the experience of Uppsala 2020 regarding in the frame of this special situation of pandemic, COVID-19, so called. That's been a challenging year. It started already in March when we had a spring trip or tour with a great guitarist Anabel Montesinos from Spain, and we had to cancel in the middle of the tour in Sweden. Come, of course, as a shock to us, and it was really strange situation. The whole society very rare, and we were very shocked. And finally, we naturally decided to cancel the rest of the tour in agreement with all local arrangers in Sweden. So that was the beginning, and as you know, the issue of today a little bit is, well, what kind of issues we had to deal with, and in this context of this year that was created by the situation of COVID. We are in our Uppsala Guitar Festival is an international festival, and we yearly invite artists from several continents in the world, and it means that at that time, at the same, it's difficult to plan a festival when you have a kind of situation like that. And we had until summer some kind of hope that the situation would change to the autumn, and then we could program like we had in the plan. But soon we realized that that we had to limit ourselves to Europe to start, and we hope that it will work as well. Anyway, in the context of Europe, and we had less factors to take into account, and of course we changed the focus from the program. The biggest feeling, the biggest aspect to deal with, I think, and I suppose most of you also had, is this uncertainty that was the worst for us, and the oscillation between this hope and despair about how we should deal. It took a lot of energy from us. The question was, should we ever be forced to cancel completely? It was not in the agenda for us, but it was a question that was to be considered. And we are happy that we did not. But we realized that the program was needed to change radically, and decided to make it was more in a process of thinking during the summer that the focus should be in a Swedish program on Swedish artists as the main program, and the theme finally was called Made in Sweden, with quite a nice program. We got uncompleted with international, limited to the EuroStrings artist, and until the very end with a great guitar phenomenon, Guthrie Govan from London. So this programming was the first one, and anyway, until the very end we had a lot of challenges to change, and we were obliged to change the content several times, and adjusted it until the very last moment. One of the aspects that were really challenging also was the international rules and situation in each country, and in Sweden. It was a kind of combination, and the numbers of parameters to take into account to conduct the festival increased for each week, each day, and it was very stressful to manage. Could we get to travel? What rules were applied to each country? Should we take COVID test to get into Sweden? Rules in Sweden that for each country, depending on where the artists were coming in, even within Europe. Should we take a test for certify that the artists going from here, traveling back home, were healthy before traveling from Sweden? and special invitations to each artist, so they would be sure to show to the border police at the airport in the case of needed. So there were questions, many parameters, and the answers were many times uncertain and ambiguous, since depending on who you asked, you got the answers. And locally, of course, there were a lot of issues that come up that we never thought about before. Some of them distance, very practical issues like distance between audiences, distance between artists and the audiences, total number of people in the hall, including staff, audience, and the festival officials. Could we, or how many journalists we could allow in the hall to cover the festival? Should a protective mask be used or not? How should we do with the food and socialization before and after the concerts? Should hang out after? Should we have hangouts after the concert? In what way? What safety rules we do need to think about? And in addition to the concerts, we also, as we do have a big educational program with workshops, masterclass, lectures, and we had planned some of them, of course, and but then at the end, the conditions given to us in the hall was that just one program at the time, and maximum 50 persons. This was another aspects, how many people you were allowed to take. So we had to cut anyway most of the, or big part of the educational program. We did some online that we shared. According to the rules, the concert hall was only allowed to have performance with concert one at a time, and only a maximum of 50 people, so in the audience. And we were hoping, of course, since the government had announced a decision to increase the maximum amount of seats to maximum of 500 in the beginning of October. So we had this hope until quite long in September, and many other organizers, of course. But this decision didn't come, never come. So we had to decide that was it, 50 people in the audience in each concert maximum. This uncertainty of what conditions and all this going to be was quite continuously stressful, because it took time, and it was maybe the factor that most influenced our ability to plan, to work and carry out the festival as you usually do. Everything was delayed, everything has to change all the time. And another aspect of that is that it took a long time before things were clear for all involved. I mean, all partners were living in the same uncertainty, and had difficulty knowing how to handle each step and what rules to keep to. So since the things were late, the decisions come late, and then all the logistics, presentation of the program, press work, purchase of trips, hotel bookings, marketing were all delayed. So we were only able to present the program about 25 days before the festival. This is, of course, unusual. One big decision we did it was to live broadcast the festival, and we never have done this before for an entire festival. So that was an untried card, we can say, and we decided after quite late after the summer that it was probably necessary to film and broadcast it. It was new ground and new processes to get started, many questions to answer, knowledge to get, information, who will do that, what do we have to keep in mind when broadcasting live, what are the risks, technical equipment, costs, what platform should be used to get a quality and ensure the quality for the audiences. And this was completely a new experience to carry out this part of the project, and it gave us a lot of new knowledge and new insights. Partly that it is a medium that we could use more in the future, but also that we have a lot of needs of educate ourselves and get more knowledge regarding the medium and how to work on it, to professionalize that work. And we realized that, and then we need to continue to learn a lot more. And we have also realized that we need to renew our platforms, our website, for instance, to be able to broadcast live in a more proper way. But also in this time of digitalization and communication digitally, it becomes an increasingly important to how to process information and to present information, so the audiences can get a better, in an easy way, this kind of information. So we have to kind of make an adaptations and modernization of the platform anyway for our festival. This is a conclusion. So we need also continue of education regarding information regarding social media platform that is changing incredibly fast, and knowledge are changed as well. And there's a lot of technical knowledge and how to use the tools to do communication through them. So it's a lot that happened, and we are richer in knowledge and experience. Some things are better, some things are not that good. And I think now we can get into a kind of summary to you. Well, just now in the last part of this discussion or presentation of our experience in Uppsala, I would like to summarize a little bit and make some reflections very shortly. I think we have learned to adapt to many more factors. We have learned that we have some new things to learn, and we have learned that we have to learn, and we have to probably innovate in a technological and digital level for fit the needs of communication and the platforms. And we use our own webpage, for instance, that can manage the information in a different way, more information in a better way for the audiences. And this is, we see that it's needed because more information is digital now, and then how to change it to make it very much more able to the audiences. We have succeeded. We can see that we have succeeded with the festival in spite of COVID, in terms of both making an interesting program content and to maintain a quality and a quite wide range of music. We had new music. We had different styles, and we had an international perspective as well. So we are happy about that. And I mean, despite the situation, we could manage to create a good atmosphere at the festival, both in the concerts. We had only 50 people in the audiences, but the audience was small, but it's very warm, and we didn't feel this absence of the big crowd. Was somehow is a success. We have to see it as a success. Even off stage, we managed to create a festival atmosphere with a good fellowship with the artists, and we had some community that was very good, and we're happy thinking of the conditions. We had to reduce the number of days of the festival. This is reasonable. And we had to change the drawing of the program several times. The decisions and the work in this year were piled up. Everything was late. It meant much stress and quite a lot of uncertainty of result. This was a little bit a negative part of it. It was a challenge. We chose finally to broadcast the festival live and managed to keep a quality that we are happy with of the broadcasting regarding picture and good sonidity, as well as we had the opportunity, in spite of everything, to conduct some workshops and give them, share them live with others in around Sweden and the world, and with a good result. We can imagine that even in a normal mood, as a result of this experience, we can imagine to choose to make some live broadcasts of some parts of the festival, even in the future. So I can say that we have been learning, we have been obliged, pushed to go forward, and it has been a positive part of it. And finally, financially, of course, we both lost sponsors revenue and tickets revenues, and this is not a good news. And I think we all around Europe have the same problems. These are a little bit what I want to share to you, the best of my possibilities. Thank you so much, and have a good